This is the Get Up and Get Out podcast with Steve Chrisell, episode 004 with Chris Helmbrecht. Today's podcast is brought to you by the best LED backpacks in the world. Check out pixbackpack.ru. That's pixbackpack.ru. Thank you so much for sponsoring us today. Just a little information about Chris before we get started. Chris has been living in Moscow for 16 years, since 2004. He's originally from Germany's Bavarian territory. He's also had quite an eclectic life, working for the German police, marketing manager in New York City. He's lived in Spain, Tenerife, and for the past 16 years, he's been here in Moscow, Russia. Chris is a self-proclaimed nihilist and a connoisseur of alcohol and women. And he's also an accomplished writer. He started out as a blogger, telling his tales of life in Moscow to his friends all over the world. And he was eventually approached by Random House, which subsequently turned into a book deal. The title of his book, I can't say it properly, but it's Effin' Moscow. You kind of get the idea. So check it out. It is available on Amazon. But more importantly, during the course of our time together, we get into topics such as the FSB, DJing in some of Moscow's hottest clubs, rubbing elbows with Russia's elite, of course the drugs and the alcohol, prostitutes, and the good and bad about Russians. So without further delay, let's get into the show. Welcome to the Get Up and Get Out podcast. Today we've got on the show the one, the only, the mysterious Chris Helmbrecht.
Yeah.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm slightly hungover from last night.
It doesn't stop.
My business.
It is nonstop.
Yeah.
We've known each other since day one.
Yeah.
Day one.
Yeah.
It was September 27th, 2012. From a mutual friend.
Yeah.
And every now and then we've seen each other in and around.
True.
Welcome to the show, man.
Thank you for inviting me.
It's my pleasure. Tell us a little bit about where you are at in your life right now. What do you do, and how long have you been here?
Well, I left Germany 22 years ago.
Yep.
I lived in America, in New York. I lived in Spain, and now I'm since 16 years in Moscow. I came here purely by accident. I would have never thought that I would come to the evil, bad Russia. And look at me, now I'm here 16 years. I was actually just thinking about it when I walked my dog now.
Mm-hmm.
And I keep on asking myself, why am I here still in this really rough, big city, which is cold, ugly right now.
Yeah.
And I don't find the answers. I think I have to think about it a little bit longer.
You just think long enough to ask yourself the question, and then you don't want to bother with the answer. Because maybe there is no answer.
No, there is. I think I'm a hedonist. I am definitely here because of the women. Because of the parties. I am. You are asking me what I do for a living, where I'm standing. I used to be an advertising guy. I used to be a policeman. I used to be an internet advertising guy, technology side of the advertising, and I had quite a career as a manager. Made good money. I had my own little advertising agency for a while with an American partner, and we closed shop. About 4 years ago, because of the crisis. It was, I think, the third crisis since I came to Russia. I just got tired of it. And it was kind of stupid to open my own agency, because here all the big agencies are controlling the market, and with a small agency you have next to no chance to succeed. So I said, if I live from my savings, I will do something that I really want to do, that I love to do, and that is party. Which I always did on the side. It was always a side project, side business, party business, and DJing. And I started to DJ for free in a little bar, and this bar became famous, and I became the art director of the bar, and I became kind of famous as a DJ too in Moscow. And for the past 4 years. Techno, tech house DJ. I organize parties. I promote places. Art director in various places, and I made money with that. Now I'm changing the strategy a little bit because you have to keep moving, not stand still. I already 2 years ago I built a concierge service because people kept asking me, my friends are coming to Moscow, take care of them. And
what can they do? Yeah.
And it became, at the beginning, I did it for free, but it became a little bit of a hassle. And I decided to take money for it. And,
why not?
Yeah. And so now I'm running MoscowClubs.com. I do a little advertising on your podcast.
MoscowClubs.com.
For people who want to come to Moscow and have a good time, and I organize everything for them, like pick up from the airport, depending if you're a bachelor party, I can put a stripper in the limo.
Full service.
Yeah.
A to Z. From the time you get in to the time that you leave, pure happiness.
Yeah. Everything, a part of illegal stuff like drugs and prostitutes.
Yeah.
Or weapons. Everything else I organize.
Relatively clean, but sure to make a client happy.
Yeah. I mean, I'm speaking about prostitutes and drugs. Yeah. I mean, maybe this is interesting for your listeners. We are living in a sort of autocratic system and state, and it is not, as a foreigner, I have to behave and I have to be very careful what I'm doing.
Sure.
I feel very comfortable here, by the way. I love democracy. I love German way of social democracy. And even so, I think it got a little bad, too capitalistic over the last 20 years. Maybe it has to do with the fact that I left. I don't know. Should have gone into politics. So I'm very comfortable here in Moscow, but you need to obey certain rules, and there are certain things that you cannot do.
Right.
So I have a lot of Indian clients, and they keep asking me always about drugs, and I always have to say to them that I cannot touch these things. I'm very sorry. I cannot help them. And they ask me on WhatsApp very bluntly, and I tell them that...
Very bluntly?
Yeah, I mean, hey, right, what about cocaine? Do you have cocaine? And I'm like, man, I'm sorry. I am a concierge service, and I can organize everything for you, but not these illegal things.
Right.
And please don't write me on my phone, because we are living in this kind of state where they are checking your messages, and they can read this. And I know that they read my messages. Because I do TV work and I have some other...
They need to make sure you're a good boy.
I have some other works. Now we are in friendly relations, and I cannot say anything bad about these guys, I have to say. In fact, they helped me a lot in the past.
That they have.
And I have no problems with them, and a lot of support. And I am very grateful for that. And that is another reason why I obey the rules.
And as you are my friend, I am appreciative of how friendly they are and you are with each other. So, I want to actually jump back, because I mean, we've been friends for many years, and I remember that you had mentioned when you first came to Moscow, you actually didn't like it.
Yeah, I still don't like it.
It wasn't enough to make you stay, though.
This is I'm honest with you right now. Many things I hate about Moscow, and many things I hate about Russians. I'm sorry. We have a Russian sitting here too.
Yeah.
They are annoying the shit out of me. And this is why I am asking myself these questions. Why am I still here?
Right. Yeah, walking the dog.
Yeah, why am
existential
I living here?
Questions.
Why am I living here since 16 years? And I mean, I must be more positive and good than bad. Otherwise, I would have left already.
Absolutely.
But this is such a... I mean, if I say I hate things about Moscow, it is the largest city in Europe.
Yeah.
It can be very stressful. It's very dirty. You see the smog every day. These idiots are burning the trash in the south illegally, and it's moving in on top of all the cars and everything. This is something that I don't like about the Russians, that they are not as clean and organized as we are. Things like this would not happen in Europe.
Yeah. Even something as logical as like something that we take for granted, like we're intelligent enough to understand maybe like recycling or something.
They are building a new ring road, and in the south of Moscow there is a nuclear dump waste.
Yes, yeah,
You know about
I've been aware
in
of
the
it.
city.
Yeah,
And they are just inside of the city. There is a nuclear dump waste from an old factory, and they didn't take care of that since the 90s, and they just keep on dumping soil every year on top because erosion is taking the soil away into the river, which is just under it, to cover it up. And now the idiots wanted to start digging there and build a road. And they were not stopping until the people who lived there started to get crazy, and all Moscow got crazy at the end. And then they said, okay, we'll build a road around it. I mean, how stupid do you have to be? Eh?
It makes you question, like, how did it even get to this point?
I mean, you live here too, you know?
Right. The people that are building the stuff, right? The people that agree, that say, yes, we're going to build a road, they live here.
Mayor, administration, all of these guys.
They said, we don't care.
Yeah.
And it's probably more about maybe the financial gain.
Yeah, sure.
Right?
Yeah, sure.
Even if they're not going to be alive in 20 or 30 years, the money that they make will carry on into the future. But what future is it?
Well, talking about things that annoy me about Russians is this short-term thinking always. That they and I'm very sorry if I criticize my Russian friends right now, but I think, and they always tell me when I do this, by the way, they always tell me, you can go home, why are you here? And I say, this is not an appropriate answer. The answer, I am here since 16 years. I have a Russian wife, ex-wife. Right. I have a half-Russian daughter. I love Russians and Russia. Let's not only talk bad things, there are good things too. Yeah. I love Russians, and this is my country as well right now, because even though I don't have the passport, I don't want to have the passport, I could have it already. I live here, my daughter is here, and because my daughter being half Russian, I have Russia for life.
Yeah.
And that's why I take this, how do you say this in English? I can say what I think is wrong. I can criticize.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
I mean,
you've earned the right.
Yeah, I earned the right for this. And
regardless of the passport, it's, I mean,
and this short-term thinking, always just to think until tomorrow and then to try to improvise and to just find a way. And then even this improvising is half-ass, is always just, I mean, look at this. I've been in Sochi half a year after the Olympics for the Formula One
and what
race
happened to
for the first one. Yeah, you should have seen the hotels half a year later. And in this half a year after the Olympics, there was nobody. Yeah, there was nobody in there. You should have seen the hotels. Mm-hmm. This is exactly how everything is in this country. Huh? It's just like a little bit of tape here, a little bit of tape there, and that the things are not falling apart is...
they turn a blind eye. It's not happening. Don't report it. Don't put it in the news. It's not really happening. These are all lies. It's really, classic.
Yeah, classic. That really annoys me. I mean, let's maybe talk about some good stuff about Russia.
why don't we do that? So, how about we jump into
women,
the parties, the
Russian,
parties and the women,
Russian women.
I mean, I'll kind of start it off when our mutual friend had asked me to come to Russia for the first time. I hung up the phone on him. I told him no. I'm not coming. And now I'm here for almost 8 years.
Yeah, and you have a Russian woman too, no?
And I have a Russian wife.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if there's a certain point. I don't know if I have to be here 16 years to earn the right to criticize, or be married to a Russian to have the right to criticize. But if I have the right to say something positive, I sure think that I have the right to say something negative as well.
Yeah.
And it's not negative in the sense that I'm not offering any solutions. I think if anybody says something negative without offering a possible solution, then it's just to have a position to just listen to me talk about bad things, right? You need to even be positive in your criticism.
Yeah, sure.
So women.
Well, let me add something to that now. It's as simple as that. Russia wants to be a superpower again. And they're very proud of their Russia, and they're very proud of that they are the largest country in the world, and that they're sitting on a pile of atomic bombs, rockets. And if you want to be a superpower, then you should behave like a superpower. And then you should, be a little bit more accurate, they like to say here in Russia, no? And certain things. And I think that comes with it. Anyway, women, yeah. I think Russian women, I mean, I've lived in New York and I had the opportunity to meet so many different cultures and women from different countries and cultures.
You were in New York during, I mean, we won't get into the negative, but you were during the 9/11 period.
Yeah, that's why I left, yeah.
But go on about the different cultures. New Yorker to 10-year New Yorker. You were there for almost, 10 years, right?
6 years.
6 years.
Yeah,
okay. I bumped it up a couple.
5.5 to be precise.
Okay, so half a decade.
Yeah. I mean, it was great, and I think it was a mistake to leave. I should have probably stayed.
Probably.
Yeah.
New York is great.
Yeah, I love it.
It's my hometown, but
yeah, I love it, man. I mean,
I'm biased.
I'm really honest. I to be honest with you, also speaking about it was the same feeling with Moscow. No? When I came the first time, I hated New York, and I had a pretty bad experience as well with some Jewish guy who got drunk, and we stayed with him, and he got angry, and he wanted to beat up his girlfriend, which was the friend of my girlfriend, and then my girlfriend was going in between, and then he kicked us out on the street at 3:00 in the morning and called us Nazis, and
nice guy.
We were on the street with our suitcases in the middle of New York, and from that moment I hated New York. I never ever wanted to go back. But then my new girlfriend moved there, and that's why I moved there, and I learned to love the city. So anyway, I had many experiences there with different cultures, women, Italians, Latin women, Puerto Rican, whatever,
Boricua.
The most, most exotic was, she was from Trinidad.
Trini girl.
Renette. Oh. Oof. So, in Korea, but Russian women are by far the best women in the world with
Absolutely.
everything. Yeah. But that comes with a price tag. I mean, I'm not talking about money. Some of them also with money, but they are very emotional, and I like to compare them with Italians.
I do too.
Yeah.
I was gonna wait till you were done, but you threw it out first.
Yeah.
So I was gonna say I call them my northern Italians.
How can they be so emotional and so southern temperamental?
Yeah.
Like the Italians, even though they're so far up in the north. What is the connection?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, maybe the only connection is that they're human. They're human beings. But there's something. There's something.
No, there must be something because it's also business the same way between business in Moscow. I always say, by the way, I said it yesterday in a club to my German friend who is recently divorced and now out hunting again. And I said to him, I'm teaching him a little bit, and I said, business and women must come to you in Moscow. You don't have to go out and hunt for them. They must come to you. And but the reason why I said this is it's very emotional here. Business too. Also like in Italy. So it's much less about how qualified you are as a business partner than am I your buddy, and we had a few vodkas together and the sauna and the banya and
business together makes sense.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Yeah.
Because you've had this bonding experience.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And without that it doesn't work.
Yeah.
No way.
But if you look at German mentality and American business mentality, I think it's more about signing papers and does it make sense on paper? Can I look at the numbers and does it add up?
Yeah.
Are we going to make money? Does it look profitable? Do you have a sound business plan?
Yes.
And here it's, this guy drinks almost as much vodka as me.
More.
Like let's do business together.
The best compliment I ever got was from the mother of my girlfriend. He said he was 60-year-old big guy, really big, and he could drink so much vodka. And he said to me, and it was always this family dinners, where all the men are sitting together and drinking vodka. I mean, I used to do the mistake that I went to those dinners without having food in my belly. Because you eat there. And I thought, I go there hungry, I didn't eat. And then right before the food comes, you have to already drink 2 shots. No?
And you're ready to eat. And you have nothing in you.
Nothing.
And it's drinking time.
Yeah. Now, before I go to those dinners, I already eat something really crazy.
You got to prep for the drinking before you eat. Yeah. So how did that go?
Yeah. And I mean, sure, the women get pissed off, no? And they're telling me, you don't have to drink, what are you doing? And then they take my glass away, and the other men, Russian.
They don't touch the Russian men's glass, but they touch the foreigners' glass. They say, no, you can't handle this.
Yeah, exactly. But you know how it is. You need to be, especially as the future son-in-law or something in the family. You need to, or the son-in-law. You need to be a man, and
you kind of prove something to
the other man.
Right.
It's an unspoken law,
right?
And you have.
There's a lot of them here, right?
Yeah.
I wish somebody would speak about them. Why do they have to be unspoken?
Women,
I don't know.
The women don't seem to understand that kind of language, so you know.
And it's their culture.
Yeah.
How have they not figured it out yet? But anyway,
even if you try to explain it to them,
it's the wall.
Yeah, they're like, no, it's not like that. No.
like I don't see that.
Yeah. So the best compliment I got was at the end of one of those drinking sessions. A father came to me and he said, "I don't know where you put all of this vodka, you little tiny man, but that you are still sitting here is amazing, and I have respect for you." And I was like, "Yeah, thanks." And after, I remember that I walked out, and then in the fresh air, it hit me, and my girlfriend had to carry me home.
Done. And I'll be honest, that actually, I mean, it wasn't under the same circumstances, but I've had several nights like that where, you know, you just, I mean, you've lost track a couple months after you got here, but I can only remember a few key moments where that fresh air, I mean, you're drinking shot. You go out into the fresh air.
Boom. It's amazing. I mean, while you're sitting, it's talking about this, you have the first two shots and you're like, oh shit, I'm getting drunk. And then you're sitting there and you already feel dizzy, and then, I don't know, you have another two shots and then you feel fine, huh?
It's a wave, right?
Yeah. And then you can have another 6 or 7 until you start to feel it, no?
Right. But then it comes back a little worse than it did before.
For me, I never really realize it until my tongue doesn't go. And then I know, okay, it's time.
I call that the boomerang effect, right? Because you know, it's like girly drinks, right? You have these nice, fancy, beautiful cocktails, you know, and you kick back 1, you kick back 7, you kick back 9, and it's not until the 10th one, and it goes, "Hey, remember me?" And it's like, you know, they come with like an army, and it's just like you're done. I want to just kind of talk about you as an author.
Oh yeah, I'm a writer. Yeah, I'm a writer.
Chris Helmbrecht, the author, the writer.
Yeah, I mean, let's get started with my idols in writing. That may give you an understanding how I write.
Let's expose that.
I was actually, the funny thing is that after I started to, I didn't read very much when I grew up, and even now I'm not reading very much. And funny thing is, or interesting thing is, that I'm still writing well enough to have a book published with Random House, and people like to read what I'm writing. And they asked me to make another book right now, but I have a little bit of an issue with myself. I need to find my way.
Is this like a like a writer's block, or just a personal?
Well, I'm kind of busy with life, and writing takes time. That's one thing, and I don't see, because the last book I made some money, but it didn't really pay as well as I expected it to pay.
Sure.
And I actually only wanted to make one book. I think that, in my opinion, was always, I'm writing for magazines and blogs and stuff, but I always thought books are outdated. It's something that you don't need anymore today. Me personally, I don't read books, but a book for sure is something that stays. So when I die one day of alcohol or anything, the book is left, and it will always be there, and my name will be attached to it, and that is something that I like. It's like growing a tree or something.
So why, how did it come about that you were going to write a book?
I was always writing articles for the school paper, then for snowboard magazines, and then I was writing for websites. I made my own magazine as well, online magazine, for a while. And I think I've been a really shitty writer. I mean, if I read my stuff that I wrote, but you know how it is. I mean,
you're your own worst critic.
I read my own stuff, I hate it. And now if I read my book, I hate it too. And I think, I could do it so much better today. You know? So wait for my next book, it will be better. That's why it takes time.
Criticize your own book so bad that people want to read the second one.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to be better.
Yeah, it will definitely be better. So, and I wrote a blog about, this whole blog thing came up in 2003. And it was just the time when I moved to Moscow, and my American friends and my German friends were very curious about my life in Moscow. What am I doing here? And so I couldn't answer all of it. There was no Facebook at that time.
Right. 2003.
Yeah. It was email, basically. And
we had Blogspot or Blogger.
Yeah.
I mean, MySpace was still around or something.
Yeah. MySpace even came later, I think. So I found a blog, and then I decided to write a blog, my stories, and post photos there, so my friends can inform themselves, and I don't have to answer the same questions again and again and again.
Read it once and done.
Everybody has these stereotypes about Moscow, and nobody could understand how a guy like me could go from New York and then living in Spain, sunny Tenerife for 1.5 years, in between, could go to this cold, dark, criminal, prostitute, beer, vodka drinking, mafia Russia.
Don't forget balalaikas.
Oh yeah. Did I miss any stereotype now?
Yeah. I was riding my bear down Tverskaya playing the balalaika with a bottle of vodka.
That would be a book too, huh?
Right?
A title for a book.
Dude, I like the cover of your book, but I think maybe the next one could be you riding a bear down Tverskaya, with a tank or something in front. Yeah. I don't know. I'm just
I'm not happy with the cover. The publisher did that, and I had approval rights of the cover, and after third time I refused it. They said, we're
going with it anyway.
We'll do it. And I said, what about my approval rights? Do you want the book published or not?
Right.
I mean,
There's your approval.
I got half of the money already, but I wanted the other half, so I said
okay.
They also did a lot of edits in the book that I didn't like, and that's something I learned because I said I never wrote a book before. But let's go back to I wrote a blog, and during this time, big German magazine, this whole blogging thing came up.
Right.
A big German magazine called Stern.
Yeah,
they had a website. Stern. It's like a Binär.
I mean, maybe my listeners don't know. Maybe our German listeners will. But I living in Germany, Stern.
Yeah. It's one of the biggest magazines in Time magazine, maybe something.
I bought it a couple times going into Aldi or something, pick up Stern. And
they called me and they asked me to write a blog for them. And I was like, okay, because they read my blog. A friend of mine was working for them, and she read my blog and
passed it along.
And it was funny enough how life is. She was supposed to build this team for the bloggers.
Okay.
And she came to me and said, "You're a good blogger, blog." And then I had a conversation with the main editor, or the CEO of this website of Stern. And asked him, so what do you want me to write about Moscow? And in general, I don't do politics, by the way. I mean, now I work for Russia Today, for example, but I don't do politics. Not for German TV, not for Russian TV. I don't let anybody put me in front of this politics stuff, because you can only do mistakes if you do that.
Yeah.
So,
right, that's true.
So I said, should I write about Russia? And then he said, no. From our statistics, the best stories, because you have the statistics on the website now, you can read it. The best stories are the stories about sex and the stories about animals. So it's probably the best if you write about sex with animals.
Says a German person.
CEO of this big company. And I'm on the phone sitting behind my mom in the car in Germany. I was just visiting Germany. I'm on the phone there, and I'm quiet for 2 seconds because I'm speechless. And then the guy says to me, yeah, I know. I used to be the editor of Spiegel, and I have a really good background, and I understand that you're shocked, but this is the reality, and we are in the ad business. We want to sell advertising and clicks and views. And if you want to be successful, this is what you should do. Roll with it. So I decided to write about sex, and I wrote this blog about my sex stories in Moscow, my party sex stories. And it became super successful. I had 550 comments per article. Once a week I made an article.
Wow.
And then after 2 years, I did this for 3 years. After 2 years, a publisher came and wanted me to make a book, and then I agreed, but then they didn't want to promote the book, so I was not been motivated to do it, because for me it was not about the money, it was about write this book and to give it. I wanted people to read it. And then an agent came a little bit later, and I signed a deal with him. And then he went shopping with different publishers, and he came back with Random House at the end, which is the biggest publisher in the world. And I had a great deal because my friends are writers too and published books too. And when they heard what kind of deal I have as someone who never ever published a book before, they were shocked. But it is because I got a shitload of money for this book upfront. But those were the times, no? The blog went well, and
right.
They liked that, and they wanted to jump on this and somehow get profit on this. And
because it's a hot thing right there, right? And the topic is hot.
Yeah, not anymore. What it used to be.
Yeah,
I was at the right moment at the right spot. So I was lucky.
And you capitalized on it.
I was lucky, and now I can walk around and can say, I wrote a book. And actually, my publisher came back, and not my publisher doesn't want to work with me anymore because the book didn't sell as well as it should. But
maybe if they agreed to actually market it. It is what it is.
Those guys agreed to market, and they actually marketed at the beginning. But the strategy they have in all these publishing houses, it is a normal book comes out on the market and it sells for 6 months, and then after it lays on the shelf and it doesn't sell anymore or little. And this is a typical story for all of them. And but still they make you sign a 10-year contract, so they have 10 years, they have the rights for the book, no? And they give you the money for that. And so all of their business analytics statistics are based on this, that the book must sell immediately, and then it will sell 6 months, and what comes after is nothing. In my case, it was different because the book sold okay in the beginning, but it wasn't the bestseller that they expected, because we did a lot of media hype around it as well, but it didn't sell as well. But it came also in a time when Russia, Putin, I don't remember what it was not the Crimea, but Putin did some stuff. Russia was not very well seen during that time.
Right.
Had a bad flavor again, and book sales in general went down 50% in this time because of PDFs and ebooks, because they exploded.
Yeah.
So the book didn't sell as well as they expected, and they didn't look at it after, because I continue to do media, and over the last 8 years, the book is out 8 years now, the book sold pretty well, actually. I see the statistics. But in their analytics, they only look at the first 6 months.
For 6 months.
And that's why they want to sell, make a deal with me for another book. But I don't care. There are other publishers out there. And
absolutely. And you have self-publishing.
Yeah.
I mean, if that's your bag, if that's your thing.
I don't know. I met 2 guys in Berlin, they're publishers, and they offered me to publish another book. I'm thinking about it. Then my agent wants me to write a novel, and he says it will sell much better and there are much more opportunities. But I have a hard time doing that because I cannot. This is the funny thing, that people, when they read my book, they always say that I'm exaggerating and I'm lying and all of these stories. And I guarantee you 99% are true.
I got to tell you, I've read pieces of your book, and just for our listeners, it's only available in German. And I highly encourage you, if you're learning German, definitely you want to read it.
Easy read.
It is an easy read. And speaking from someone who lived in Germany for 2 years, and that's literally the extent of my German studies. I was probably probably about a B1 and a half, somewhere B1 and B2. Definitely good enough to have some sort of permanent residency if I was smart enough back then. But regardless, I've spoken with you several times. Personally, not being in those positions with you at the same time, those stories feel stretched. They seem, but I know you, and I can, I don't know how much my vouching does for Chris Helmbrecht, but I can definitely say that they're more true than false. If there's, and I don't think there's an ounce of lying at all.
No, there's no lying. There's no exaggerating. There is, sometimes they change the timeline, because you have to compress it into the story. It's maybe something that happened over a year or over a week. Or
when you write it doesn't sound.
I had to change it for that, or I had to change names and characters, because some of them, they would not be happy to see themselves in there. because there are some mafia guys in there and some billionaires in there. But there is, I guarantee you, 99.9% of the book are true. And actually, my problem in writing a novel is that I cannot invent stories.
And this is the thing I wanted to ask you about the novel, is that, this is along the lines of fiction. And how is Chris's brain at coming up with something that's not true?
No, it's not. I mean, I can, and I developed a storyline, and I'm starting to write around it, but I have a really hard time doing that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is another sign, I think, that I'm not a liar. Like, I'm just
you say how it is.
It's a combination. I am a hedonist.
Mm-hmm.
I love life. I enjoy life to the fullest because I'm a fatalist. I am. I don't know if I will still be alive tomorrow. So I have to enjoy today as much as I can.
And that is part of the Russian mentality.
That is one of the reasons why I'm here.
I mean, you talk about, it's this hard ability, the German part of your brain, right, is like logic, right? Yeah. You're like, how can they not see past their nose? How can they not see into the future? But here it is, you're coming out and saying, look, I'm a hedonist. I don't know if I'll die tomorrow. Yeah. And yet that thought resides kind of in both areas of the brain, right? So you can understand why the Russians think this way, but they're applying it in a totally different area. But here you are, this is a personal thing. It's not causing harm to millions of people.
No.
This is creating maybe a moment of bliss or happiness for 1, 2, or more people.
You have the choice very often, and you're standing in the club and you are there with 2 girls or whatever, and you say you should make a move, and you should say, or even with 1 girl. Right. How many times do you stand with a girl in a club and
this is based on a true story,
and you like her, and you are not doing anything? You are like talking to her for like hours, but you're not saying, let's go home and have fun. And we don't do this. And if you don't do it, you will not find yourself in a situation where I found myself next day, when you are, I don't know, with a sadomaso woman, with a domina, with her slave, and you had a wild orgy for hours.
Right.
You cannot get to this point if you don't allow yourself to do it, or if you don't push yourself to do it, and you say, yes, I will do this right now.
So it's almost like the first time, it's like a little, I don't know what's going to happen, kind of a little bit of fear, right?
Always.
And the second time becomes a little easier.
Always fear.
It's always fear?
Yeah, still, even after 10 years. Or 16 years, 20 years, 30 years, how long am I doing this right now? And I mean, I already lived a very hedonistic, extreme party life in New York with girls and parties and everything. And I actually thought that New York, coming from a conservative city like Munich in Germany, I thought that New York is Sodom und Gomorrah. Is like the
I see where this is going.
the evil place, in the most evil place in the world. And then I come to Moscow, and Moscow is 1,000 times more extreme and worse than New York. And this is another reason why I'm here. You have swinger orgies, you have, I don't know, parties until 24 hours you can party, like in Berlin. You can end up with some rich guys after party at 4:00 in the afternoon. You end up with some rich guys, government guys too, in some $3 million apartment. Some girls took you there, and there are girls and drugs and alcohol and I don't know, and you're like, where am I right now? Yeah. And this is interesting for me. I like this. And we were talking about women. Yeah, I love women. I love sex, and I appreciate women. But this is not only about women. This whole thing is about, much more exciting for me about this, being a writer, is the experience. To go out and to meet all of these people, to talk with these people, to have conversations with them. And a lot of stories I cannot write because it's people, they will kill me if it gets out somewhere or it gets out. I can tell you stories. I mean, if later on when I die, maybe before I will publish another
memoir
or something, then you will read all of this stuff. That's amazing.
In novel form.
Yeah, once again, people will not believe it.
This is an autobiography.
Yeah, no, really, and this is really for me as a writer. This is a playing ground, and
You're like a modern day Dorian Gray.
Coming back to my idols.
Yeah, you wanted to mention that earlier.
Hunter
right?
Thompson is maybe one of them, and he had an awesome writing style. He was a crazy guy, a little bit like me. I want to be like him. I mean, I think I'm not as crazy as he is, but I want to be like him.
Say his name again.
Hunter Thompson.
Hunter Thompson.
Yeah, you don't know him?
No.
No, really?
No. I'm being honest.
He's the guy who wrote Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. You saw the movie?
Okay. Yeah, I saw the movie.
Yeah, you should read some of his stuff.
I'm a movie guy.
He started.
I just started reading like a couple years ago, and now I read almost anything I get my hands on.
No, he's a great modern. He's dead now. It's actually cool. He's a friend of Johnny Depp, by the way, or Johnny Depp was a friend of him.
Well, okay.
And he was a crazy guy. He killed himself with 62 or something like this not so long ago, and he shot himself with a revolver in the head. And it was either that he was on drugs because he took too many drugs, or I personally think that he had a problem with getting old, and he just couldn't. He had some body issues, something, he got sick or something, I don't know, and he had issues with that, and he just wanted not his family to see him like this, and to
that was the best
anybody,
way for him
and just to end this. I see it the same way sometimes. I don't want to be a vegetable later on. I want people to remember me the way I am.
Yeah, you don't want to get old either. I think you have an issue with
I have
kind of
absolutely
getting old.
I think I'm 20 years old.
You shave that thing on your face off, you look like you're 20.
Never grow up.
Yeah.
So Hunter Thompson is a great writer, and he's one of my idols. Funny enough, I only found out about him after I wrote my book, so I cannot say that he inspired me.
It was an influence, but afterwards
he wasn't.
So who else is on the list?
No, Bukowski, of course. Charles Bukowski. He is this Polish-German writer who got crazy. American, I mean, but with the Polish-German roots.
Mm-hmm.
People came to me after. It's funny because after I wrote my book, people came to me and they compared my book with these guys and said, you have a similar style in terms of what you say, not in terms of the writing style, because they're much better than me.
But what you say
and how you live, and this hedonistic view of life, and so. And Beck Beda, a French writer, he's also very often in Moscow, who is a much better writer than me, but he's also 10 years older than me. So maybe in 10 years, I will be a much better writer than I am right now.
We'll ask you in 10 years.
Yeah. Next book. Yeah. So I'm a writer, and I like to experience. I like to put myself into these extreme situations, and I enjoy them very much, and I like to write about them.
Now, you come from kind of like the kind of skateboard, snowboard generation, and
48, by the way. Yeah. Speaking of age, 71.
You're a few years older than me, but you party like you're a lot of years younger than me. I wanted to ask you. You wrote the book, and what were you doing like for work while and after you wrote the book? Because I know you get involved in a lot of things, and I don't want to call out any of the places that you've worked at before. I know the list, but I don't want to mix all the businesses and stuff that you're involved in.
Exactly, that would be an easy answer, just to say I've done this, and this, or I worked for this, and this company or whatever. But I did the website for Volvo in the US, by the way.
Volvo thing,
in the year 2000.
Yep.
But I think that we live in a strange time right now, which becomes ever faster developing every day. And me, myself, at 48 right now, I start to lose the ability to keep up with it already. And it starts to, that makes me nervous. I'm afraid of that because I can see how lost my mother is, for example, with her 72 years old, with all of this stuff. And I don't want to be there. And I want to stay in control. And for me, very important was always to reinvent myself and to keep moving. And there are bad times where you have not so much money, but thank God you have friends and they help you and they support you and they give you a warm meal and a couch to sleep on and maybe even borrow you some money if you need, And I'm very grateful for all of these friends. And if you guys hear this, thank you. I get red eyes right now because I'm really grateful for this. And sometimes friends turn up where you don't even expect them. There's a guy that you meet on a party and you had a few chats with him, and all of a sudden when you need help, he's there and he helps you and he becomes a friend.
Right.
And I'm very, very grateful for that. And that allows me to develop myself and to always do new things. I've been a technology guy. I've been a policeman. I told you I was pro snowboarder.
You were
pro snowboarder. I wanted to become a helicopter pilot. I was flying as a crew chief in a helicopter. I never managed to become a pilot, but that's why I left. I had this advertising agency. Now I'm a DJ. I'm a writer, and now I run this concierge service and. I'm starting to do SMM stuff, social media marketing. A little bit now for some German companies in Russia that make some money. I work for Russia Today. I do some TV stuff. I'm opening a production company for TV right now for German channels which want to do something in Moscow. So
actually, you just I'm just going to point this out there because maybe I'll just say you were doing a lot of acting. That's where you met your now ex-wife, but
I'm a terrible actor.
But you put yourself out there. You pivoted.
I tried that too.
But you recently did you were a voiceover.
Yeah, I do that a lot. Yeah.
And can you talk about that? Yeah. It's out now, right? The movie's out.
So I don't even remember the names of these movies. I do 6 movies.
I saw it. I saw because you posted the clip on Facebook, and I personally have forgotten the name of the movie, but it was a Russian-made movie, World War II-ish, right?
Most of the time.
Yeah, and you played a general, or you played a soldier, so
this year I did 5 movies already.
5 movies,
2 modern ones. They play in the one place in Berlin with KGB, FSB agents, something, and typically they want to save budget, and they have some German actors, but they want to save some budget and have Russian actors playing German soldiers or German policemen or whatever, and then I need to give them the voice. And the funny thing on this modern movie, it was even a KGB guy, old KGB guy who spoke German and was one of the main guys, and I had to give him the voice. But I rarely remember the names, but they're big cinema movies, and you can. T-34 was one that I made.
T-34, that was one, right?
I just did the TV series. They bring out a TV series now. I just did that as well. So if you watch that, you can, and you hear Nazis yelling stuff, then it's me.
One of them.
This is not so much money. I'm doing it more for fun because we are like a crew of like 4 or 5 guys. We know each other and we always do this together. And it's an afternoon of work and we're sitting there together, and it's kind of fun, You're allowed to yell all of these things that you would never be able to say in the real world.
Another part of Chris that just allows him to
I'm known
do something different.
I'm known for being the loudest and the guy who yells the best in these movies. So
I can second that. I've heard a couple of them. And you're pretty loud.
But it's a way to also get some energy out. Get rid of some aggression.
Jetzt geht's los.
Ja. Los, ihr Russenschweine! I'm sorry. I do a lot of that. I like it.
I want to ask you just a friendly personal question.
Shoot me.
Shoot me. When you go out to eat, by yourself, with your daughter,
really,
where do you go? Where are some places that you can find Chris eating a meal? Where do you like to grab food in Moscow?
Is typically the same places always, because I know the chefs, for example. They invite me, or I know the owners or somebody, and I feel comfortable. It's not about the quality of the food, but typically the food is okay or quality is good. Otherwise I wouldn't go there. 8 oz in Gorky Park. I will go there tomorrow.
8 ounce, yeah.
8 ounces,
Yeah.
I will go there tomorrow for sure. They have a nice German Augustiner beer, which I love very much, and they have very good pizza. And my friend is DJing there every
it's your favorite, isn't
Sunday.
it? Augustiner?
Yeah. I mean, I grew up in Bamberg, which is a beer city, and
Bamberg itself, yeah.
250 breweries in a 70,000 people city and around. So, you know,
I've seen the statistics on how much the average German man drinks in a year.
250 breweries, and I grew up there, and I had my first beer with 6, and my first time was really drunk was at 14.
14.
And then, you know, this period 14 to 18, you know, drink a lot. And,
kind of forgot high school.
And you just go in your village, you have a brewery, or you go next village with a bicycle, and
there's another one.
In every village they have 2 breweries, and every brewery makes 5 beers, and you're sure you have to try all of them.
You have to. You haven't tried this one?
So I surely can call myself a beer expert. It's a hobby of mine, by the way. And it's
you have quite an extensive. It was on Instagram or Facebook. You had like a list, literally a picture list.
Yes.
Yeah, yes. Gallery.
Because I drink so much beer, I decided that anyway I drink so much on so many different ones. I decided to take a picture of every beer that I drink and post it on Facebook. And I have a page there for not a page, a photo album.
Right.
And my plan is to drink 999 beers. And at the time, I didn't upload anything for like a year now. I should do it, go through my, because I still take the photos, no?
Yeah.
So last time I uploaded, I was at 650, and I guess I'm like around 800 now, probably.
Good gracious.
Yeah. And
you're gonna hit it. You're gonna hit it within 2 years.
Yeah.
Less.
Soon.
Yeah.
And I like Augustiner from the Munich beers. Augustiner, Tegernseer are my favorite beers for sure. My favorite beer in Bamberg is Spezial, it's called.
Yeah, I know it.
Very difficult to get here. It's a smoked beer.
Yeah.
But it's not the Schlenkerler that you can buy everywhere. The Schlenkerler is too dark and too strong. Spezial is a little bit more soft and is much better.
Yeah, they don't even import it.
No way. Yeah. No way. Beer that you can get in Russia that's good right now is Eyinger is a good one, or Bayreuther.
Bayreuther, yeah.
Bayreuther is a good one, so I like that. Yeah, but that was not the question. What was the question? I'm sorry. We got hung up on beer.
Well, I asked you, where would somebody find you? Yeah. So I know of a couple, but I just want to get your take on it.
Yeah, 8 oz is definitely one. Let me think of another. Glenwheel or Margarita Bistro, because the owner, Glenn Barlis, is an old friend of mine. He's a chef, and sometimes
I still haven't gotten there. I mean, we used to do the Moscow Eats, and I like the whole premise of Glenwheel. Haven't gotten there yet, but
excellent food there. I like it really. What else? Let me think. I really don't go out. So
you had that. You hit up that the bratwurst place a couple times.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I get paid for that, but and I said this openly in the beginning. It was I was invited because of an old friend, not really a friend, but somebody I know did this, and he invited me, and I liked it, and then he offered me to do a paid promotion, which I enjoy doing, because it comes not only with a little check every end of the month, but also it's a nice thing being an influencer now.
Yeah.
But also it comes with a free budget of beer and food. And so I frequently go there and invite my friends. I should invite you actually. Yeah, let's go, man. Yeah, that's why I didn't invite you.
I get lost on the list.
Yeah, man.
when you have the list of women that are in this city.
Yeah, actually, one from yesterday also said I should invite her.
Believe me, I can wait.
No,
but we can
tell me this week when you have time. We go. We have some beers and you try some food and check it out. I mean, I'm also friends with one of the chefs there now, and last week we made a currywurst cookout, which I lost.
Oh,
you will see the video soon. That is fun too. It's nice to get paid for stuff that is fun, and we drink a lot of beer too. So
you were doing that over at Berlin Bar for a while too.
Actually, the guy called me yesterday too from Berlin Bar and wants me to work for him again, but I'm not sure if I should go back there. Sometimes it's better to move forward than not to go back.
Well, yeah, but I mean, on the opposite side, you have to ask yourself if going, did you leave for the reasons that now you're, so was it a negative reason to why you left, and now you're thinking that it's a it's a step back?
Yeah, it was a negative reason. The reason was that I've been paid to be the face of this place, of this venue, Berlin Bar, and I've also been paid giving my opinion how to make it better and how to make it authentic, which the owner didn't respect at all, and he kept changing things, and he operates, as many Russians do, on a trial and error basis. And he made this Berlin Bar, which is supposed to be German and Berlin, into a Russian pop place with next to nothing that is
just
Berlin.
Call it Berlin Bar.
Other than that, the interior designer came from Berlin who made it, and that was his original idea about Berlin Bar, by the way. That made Berlin Bar for him, that he gets a designer from Berlin, interior designer, and he brings some stones from Berlin and some lamp covers, and that's it. There was nothing about it. It took me 3 months to convince him to make currywurst. He didn't want to do it. And so I had a constant battle with him over 2 years, and after 2 years, you know what, I just forget about it. And he actually ruined the place, in my opinion. It is a pop place. It's still not working very well.
It's over by Mayakovskaya. Yeah.
Very beautiful place now. And
I love the interior, really. But if you're good, look, I've owned businesses in the past, and you clearly come from a marketing background. The authenticity really is quite important, and you don't want to call someplace, New York, and not have pizza or a big yellow taxi or something. I mean.
It's this Russian thing again, it's superficial, fast, and money. That's it. And at the end of the day, he doesn't make the money. I mean, I think he
absolutely, it's a long-term decision.
Yeah, and he made more money when it was Berlin with currywurst and doner kebab and Berlin music.
Authenticity.
Authentic, exactly.
Because authenticity breeds trust.
Yes.
Yeah, and people know that when they go here, they can trust that they are going to be transported into Berlin.
He paid me to be the face of this place. So some people even thought I'm the owner. Some people still think I'm the owner of this place, which is okay for me. I have no problem.
That's not bad.
But it becomes a problem when this place is not authentic, and it is becoming shit, and people are like, what is this? What is this Chris Helmbrecht doing? And I cannot stand behind this, and this is why I left now.
I want to bring up the future, because we.
Oh man! Don't ask a guy who lived too long in Russia and Russified already about the future. The future is tomorrow.
Yeah. So I mean, I know we don't as Russian minded as some of us get. I just went home actually for Christmas. And I was told by several family members, very close family members, they said to me point blank, they said, Steve, you've changed. You've changed, and it's
Did they see you driving?
No. But just maybe, and I don't, maybe I haven't looked inside myself. To ask myself these morning dog walk questions of what the hell am I still doing? I ask myself that question. But I see a change, but not enough to call me out on it. And surely if you're going to be a relative of mine, which you have been my whole life, where is the explanation? So I think this place probably has changed me,
Sure.
But I would definitely say more for the better.
Sure.
I definitely found out more about myself, and I'm less likely to be soft, and to let things go.
American.
Yeah. Everything is okay.
Hey, come to my place. You're so good. You're so great. I love you
all the
man.
time.
Hey, you're fantastic, fabulous. You are.
Everything's excellent.
So good. Yeah, come on. So what annoys me about Americans always did annoy me.
Everything is great. Everything is, how are you doing? Excellent.
Excellent.
Everything is great.
Why even ask me how I'm doing if you don't care how
Everything
I'm
is
doing?
awesome, and you don't care.
Yeah, you don't care. You really don't care.
You know what FINE stands for? Yeah, you're doing fine. Freaked out, insecure, neurotic, emotional. But I mean, I hate those. So when I ask, I'm caring. I actually want to know how you are. And if that's a part of how I've changed, well, then that's fine. I'm okay with that. Cool. But about Chris's future, I mean, you're thinking about another book. You are the king of pivot. As far as the people that I know in this city.
That's nice. I will claim that for myself now as a title for a book or something. Thank you.
Take it for your charge. Absolutely. I mean, you have a keen sense of adapting. Right. And doing this, doing that, trying it out. You talk about fear. You talk about, being the hedonistic guy. And after 10 years of living this type of lifestyle or more, you haven't gotten rid of that fear. It's still there, but you still do it. And I think that transcends into your lifestyle, into your work. And, we had some interesting phone calls before.
Let's go back to fear real quick.
You want to jump on it?
Yeah.
Let's jump on it.
I think this is something good for your listeners and maybe something motivational right now. You see this YouTube advertising, I'm coaching you, blah, blah, blah. And these coaches who are around right now and who try to tell you need to live a better life and whatever. Sure, it's not so bad if somebody tells you, man, you're making a mistake, or you.
So all these like motivational type speakers and stuff like that.
These life coaches, man. All these losers.
The life,
Who are you? All losers. And who are you to tell me how I should live my life better if you never ever managed anything in your life yourself? Look at you. You failed in everything, and the only thing you can still do is this life coaching. Because you failed in everything else.
Let's just be positive.
Look at their bios. I'm sorry. Look at their bios. Let's talk about fear.
Jump into it.
Jump into it. Exactly. That's the point. Most of the people don't jump. Most of the people are afraid of change because change means that they could lose their stability, that they could lose their warm, cozy place where they are right now. But you will not develop and move further in your life and experience certain things, even extreme things. It is up to you what you want to experience if you don't jump, if you don't make a move. And you need to forget about this fear. Fear is good. The fear I try to tell my daughter, fear is a good feeling. It keeps you real. It keeps you safe. You should, being a pro snowboarder, I know that. The reason why I'm still alive is because I had fear. And certain things I didn't do, or I was very careful when I did them. Otherwise, I would be dead. And I saw other people who didn't have the fear and they died. You need to jump. And when you jump into the water, then you need to swim. And the water may not be, you can prepare yourself as much as you want. And you may think the water is lukewarm or warm. It's like a bathtub, but it's not. It's maybe freezing cold with ice cubes, and it may be wild river, and you have to swim for your life. And then you will have a period again where it becomes quiet and warm and is more like a lake almost. And you have time to rest and you can get your energy again. And then there's a wild period again, and maybe you fall down a waterfall. And at the end of the day, if you want to be philosophical, there's the ocean, and that's death, the end. So I see the whole life as a river.
Leading to the ocean.
And but you need to jump into it. And if you don't jump, you're stuck and you will never move. And you will be this mouse in the wheel, running in the wheel, making money, paying your credit card bills. And you will never, sitting in front of Netflix and dreaming, or Instagram, dreaming of the fake life of others that doesn't exist. Instead of living this life yourself.
Absolutely.
And who are you then after to come to me and tell me that my stories and my book are lies if you don't dare to jump? You understand? And I think this is something I can give to you, and this is what you meant, I think, before. And you need to jump, and you need to maybe jump again. You need to make a move, And you have to be afraid, and you have to accept fear. Fear is a good feeling. It helps you to look at the circumstances and to make an educated decision on what you're going to do and how you're going to prepare yourself. You need to prepare yourself, and then you jump.
And see how it goes.
Yeah. And then you swim.
But at least, and I kind of, very easily, I kind of coerced you into this dialogue about fear, because, you know, a lot of people say the moment they see the fear, that must be the signal to stop. Not to think, not to try to come to some sort of educated no, this is a do not enter, turn around, go back for them. And then they become the mouse in the wheel. They become the bystander, the spectator, the person that's doubting everything that everybody else is doing, and they become, you know, like those people that you listen to when you're listening to a football match. And they're just like, and they did this and they did that, and then he's going to do this, and then he's going to do. But what are they doing?
Nothing.
They're just reporting on other people's lives, right? So, but good for these guys. They make a good living doing that. But but you know, it's from an existential side, from, you know, what you're doing with your life. You don't need to be that spectator. You know, that fear is there to tell you, just think about it more.
The dangerous thing about the fear is that you, the more you jump, it's the same with the snowboarding, by the way. The more often you jump, the more often you do something crazy, the less fear you have, because you get out of it, you survive. So you're more confident the next time. And that has its dangers too, now. Because you need to
you can stop thinking.
You must. You can stop having the fear, and you will not prepare yourself anymore, and then you crash.
Right.
And I crashed too. Many times, and I made mistakes, and thank God I'm still alive, and I'm not only with snowboarding, I mean also with other stuff that I've done in my life. And you dust yourself off, and you get up on your feet, you make a quick, which is very important, something I learned in the military, to make a quick analysis, a debriefing. Make a quick analysis, what went wrong, why it went wrong, what did I do wrong, how can I make it better next time? You must take the time for yourself. And you will always crash. That's part of life. You don't get faulted for crashing. You get faulted for not analyzing what happened, so that way you can make it better next time. And or limit that. The scars, may it be a physical scar or a psychological scar that you take from that, is... something that makes you stronger. Is battle wounds, no? Right. For a man, it grows your character. It grows your being, your self-being, your soul. I don't know how to say this in English, but it grows you as a man, as a human being, and it makes you stronger. Sure. It puts kind of like another layer on your soul, on your character, on your full being, and it creates who you are trying to become, right? Maybe it's preparing you for something greater later. I don't know. My glass is half full. Speaking about the future, you know, a real problem I have these days, and I am not sure if it is because I lived too long in Russia already or because I'm kind of lost, is to predict what's coming. I became a drifter. And I think it's very negative for myself. If I do a self-analysis, I need to have a little bit more of a plan where I want to go and where I want to be. But things are rapidly changing so fast, and I constantly have to react. And this is like playing a game of chess, you know. It's always better if you are the aggressive player and not the defensive player. And I find myself in a position being the defensive player right now, and I have to get back into offense. That's why I have a little crisis. Maybe it's a midlife crisis. I don't know what it is, but I have a little crisis right now. I need to figure that out. And I'm a bit lost because of that. And it has a negative effect on my business and on my life. And I need to get a grip on that. But I think it has also to do with the times, because we live in these times that are very fast changing, and it's very hard to adapt with this coronavirus right now. For example, I mean, sure, it's a hype right now. It's only 66. Put things in perspective always. No? It's 66,000 people who are infected in the world. How many? Most of them in China. How many people living in China? 4 billion.
A couple billion. Let's call it 2.
Yeah.
I think it's.
I mean, there is the potential that this thing can become bad, but there is no reason to walk through the metro with a mask, and to be like this, which I even wrote on my Facebook that I will buy myself a mask, which was stupid. I do stupid things too sometimes. So you need to put things in perspective, but still, there are so many changes, and I am almost certain. I'm a writer. I like to talk to people, businessmen, hackers. I have very good connections, very interesting people. And I'm almost certain that we are in a transition to another system. And unfortunately, I'm already 48 years old. And the older you get, the more difficult it will become to adjust, to adapt to this new system. And I just hope that the transition will be a smooth one. If humans are not as stupid as they are, as I think they are, they will probably manage to do this in a smooth transition. But if we get more of these idiots like Trump or AfD or Erdogan or I don't know, call me the Prince of Saudi Arabia, I don't know his name, the king, then it will crash. And then we will have a revolution, a social revolution for sure. We will have, and it's very soon coming, we will have an economy crash, total crash of the economy. We will have war, violence. We will have people trying to rob you from what you own. And that scares me. And it scares me because it's going to happen in the next 15 to 20 years. And I will be 60 years old. I will be an old man and I will not be able to defend myself as I used to be able when I was 20.
Right.
And that's why I'm a little bit lost, I think. Next subject that scares me, that really, really scares me, is the singularity. AI.
Yeah.
There's nothing good about it. Sorry. And some idiot is going to pull the switch and this thing is going to start moving, running, improving itself. And there is no room for us because we are useless. This thing will be much better than us. And we are just taking up resources that the machines need. So for what reason they should keep us? And where is the emotional aspect there? They don't have a soul or compassion to the creators.
No, they've been given their instructions by the creator.
Yeah.
And then they can start thinking for themselves.
So I think of it as being, it's going to be an evolution, I think, a evolution jump. And some of us will probably be able to transfer themselves to people with money, powerful people.
Yeah.
Will be able to transfer themselves into machines and continue like that. And then,
good for them.
I don't know. Bad for us. And I don't know where it goes. But it scares me too and it scares me especially for my daughter.
Right.
And this is definitely something that you and I will still witness and see. And it scares me because, again, I will be old and it will be harder for me to deal with that. And probably I'm too intelligent to not see this, and because I don't watch Netflix or I kill my brain with
the things that
the other people watch, telenovelas or whatever, I see these things. I like to watch TED Talks and I like to read on the internet,
documentaries,
and read up and educate myself. So
you do read. And judging from your futuristic hypotheses, I think we might actually have a novel writer before us. More than he knows.
I hope I will be William Gibson, another good writer that I love very much, by the way.
Okay.
New Romancer, Burning Chrome. They had the Pattern Recognition is a book that I read. I read a little bit sometimes.
I heard really good things about that. I wasn't a reader either.
Yeah.
And
audiobooks too, you know.
It's just it's so time consuming. I do a lot of audiobooks. Because I really can't read in a car. I get sick. I can't read on metro. I get nauseous. So sitting there, I don't have to take out anything. I can just push play on my phone and I'm listening to the book.
Reading is faster now. If sure it's a good time when I bring my daughter to the kindergarten every day when she's with me. I mean,
She goes to a Russian kindergarten?
Yes, but to German school this year.
Deutsche Schule, Schule, yeah.
Which is expensive. Another problem I have to solve.
Another pivot.
You can buy what the school cost me a year. I could buy a car every year for that money.
Yeah.
And I am not an expert.
And it's not the most expensive of private schools.
No. The American one is more expensive.
Yeah.
Double the price.
Yep.
Anyway, I have to bring her to the kindergarten, and then I have an hour a day that's lost for me to go home without her. Half an hour back. 2 times I go there. So I use this time, I listen to audiobooks as well. But I realized that reading is much faster. So if I have time...
you read faster than the audiobook?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Oh, wow.
This is something you can train.
Well, I subscribe to like Jim Quick on Instagram, and I get a couple tips from him once or twice a week. And I really try. I mean, our lives are so packed, and there's so much information out there. But yes, you can train it.
Speaking of the future and technology stuff, I'm used to be a technology guy. That's why naturally I'm interested in this stuff, and I still have my finger in there on the pulse. I can't wait for this interface that you just plug in somewhere and you can download the book into your brain and you have it. You don't have to read it anymore. That would be nice.
Every good thing has its, and I hate to be the buzzkill. There's got to be a negative to that. But
sure. But how much capacity do I have? How many gigabytes?
How many terabytes? I don't know how.
When is it full? What do I have to delete after?
Childhood
memories, maybe.
maybe they go bye-bye, right? Because the brain is always deleting stuff, right? The brain is always deleting unuseful information. Yes. And who
makes that decision?
What's my mom's name? Oh, it's not useful anymore. My birthday. It's not useful anymore.
Ex-girlfriends.
Oh, absolutely not useful.
Forget about it. Delete.
Gone. Just a dust in the past.
But the porno selection is gonna stay, no?
Probably. Chris, I want to acknowledge you. I want to say thank you for your time and your friendship. I want to say that knowing you the past 7-8 years, I've lost track of time. The random meetings, the clubs, the parties. It's not. This time right here is more valuable than coming and even though the music is really good and the atmosphere is amazing, this is more valuable to me.
No, I liked it too, and actually even you asking these questions make me think it was very stimulating for my brain, so thank you for inviting me. Thank you for inviting me, and you gave me some inspiration for my next book, and thank you for having me here, and this was very stimulating for me, really. Intellectually stimulating.
Intellectually stimulating. Yes. I like how you have that with the German accent. Intellectually stimulating.
A little side note, and I think I will not be able to manage to speak anymore. I grew up with Americans in an American post, and I spoke American like Americans. I mean, I was in America. People were always asking me where you're from.
Oh, Bamberg, yeah.
And I went to the American kindergarten. That's where I learned English. Soldier kindergarten for the soldiers. My grandmother had some connections and she put me there. So when I went snowboarding in the States or somewhere, people were always asking where I'm from, and I said from Germany. They said, no, which state? Because they thought I'm American. And then when I lived in New York, I had this Italian girlfriend that had a hearing problem, and because you Americans, you're like with the chewing gum, she was Italian. It was very difficult for her to understand my English, and we were communicating in English. So I had to develop this German accent to speak more clearly so she can understand me.
Yeah.
And this
somehow
stayed with me. And some of my old friends who know me from before that time,
they're like, what happened?
They are amazed how I changed, how I got this accent, and and this is not an excuse for my accent. It was really like this. But I'm actually proud of it because I am German. Why do I have to pretend to be American?
You shouldn't.
Or Russian or anything. I'm German and I'm proud to be German.
Should be who you are.
Yeah. Proud of my roots. So, thank you.
Before we go, I have 2 things.
Okay.
I have some, we call them Blitz questions.
Oh.
All right. So I'm going to give you 2 words, and you need to choose one.
Okay.
All right. After that, we will just say some things about where we can find you on the web, and then we'll close it out.
Super.
All right. So
Sex,
Blitz
please. Sex,
Zeit.
sex, women, sex, women. Shoot me.
Vodka or scotch?
Scotch.
Pilmeni or vareniki?
Pilmeni.
Club or bar?
Bar.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
This is an easy one. Late to go to bed or early to rise?
Late.
Or is it something about the same?
No, I like to sleep long. I hate this. Yeah. I hate getting up early.
Okay. Eating out or cooking at home?
Cooking at home.
Um,
I'm a good cook, by the way. You should cook together one day.
Yeah. Well, I know the currywurst is up there, but we'll have to get together for a dinner.
Huh?
What was the next one? This is going to be very relative for you, but name the Russian town where you had the weirdest experience. You can define it however you want, but Russian town where you had the weirdest experience.
Ekaterinburg.
Ekaterinburg.
You can read it in my book. It's actually the main story of my book, I think. Or if people ask me about my book, what my book is about, I tell the story.
Wait, is there a title to that story?
I don't remember actually. Mafia guy in Ekaterinburg or something like this.
What's a Russian cuisine that you can't live without?
Solotka pachuva.
High five for that. Nice. All right. So
it.
3 words or less.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of when I say blini?
Caviar, Nutella. What's the name? Maslenica.
Maslenica. Yes. It's coming. Skora.
Yeah, it's not
soon.
coming. Yeah, you know.
Vodka.
Family, man. No hangover.
Good vodka.
Yeah, well, sure.
Bears.
Prime Minister, corruption, teddy bears.
Good mix. Caviar.
Salmon, Kamchatka, black caviar. I don't like
black. No. I've never tried it. So
really,
yeah,
what?
Never tried it. I've had plenty of red, but never the black.
Oh, I love the red. I don't like the black.
I'm a little because of the red. It's not bad. I'm afraid. I have fear. Maybe I need to jump.
Yeah. Overrated black.
Overrated.
Too expensive and overrated.
Pilmeni.
Smetana, garchica. Smetana is sour cream.
Sour cream.
Garchica is
mustard.
Mustard. Very spicy mustard.
Yeah.
Babushka.
Babushka.
Ist die Grenzmutter.
Yeah. Moscow traffic.
Probka. Traffic jam. It means, no?
Yeah.
Cars. Dirt.
Metro.
Stress. A fourth I can add.
Stressig.
Metro. Aggressive babushkas. Stinky Caucasian guys. Fast transport.
You read my mind.
Cheap.
Yeah. Car sharing.
Very advanced. No parking. Traffic jams. Useless. In a city like this.
And the Golden Ring.
Never been there. Not interested in church. Anything that has to do with church. Orthodox church.
That's it.
Wow.
Thank you for playing. So if people want to contact you, hear more about Chris Helmbrecht, past, present, future, where are they going?
I'm sure you're going to put a link under this podcast.
Yeah.
But I have various websites. I have chrishelmbrecht.com, which I'm redoing right now. It's actually not so good right now. But soon it will be nice. And there will be a blog too, about my opinions and worldviews, and a little bit of writing now and then in English. And my DJ sets you can hear there as well. Then, of course, Instagram, Facebook. I was recently told that Facebook is for old guys.
Facebook is...
My kids. I was in a German school because I do social media work for them right now. And I made a little meeting with classes 1 to 4. So they are like, 6 to 10 years old.
Sure.
And I asked them to participate in this social media work and to send pictures and stuff. And they were like, yeah, which media are you going to post? And I said, Facebook, Instagram. And they said, wow, Facebook. Facebook is for the old guys, for our parents. Instagram is for the teenagers.
So what are they on, TikTok now?
They're TikTok, yeah.
TikTok.
And what was the name? Something like? Like?
Like?
Yeah, something.
The app is called Like.
Yeah.
I am losing my finger on the pulse.
I was shocked. I never heard about this. That's exactly what I'm talking about, man. That's what you heard me before. It's so hard to keep up with things, and the kids are already moved on, and we are still on Facebook.
Left behind. We're still on Facebook.
Yeah. So find me on Like.
Find you on Like.
I will have a profile there too soon. That's it.
Cool. Well, I definitely appreciate you coming by. I think it's time for you to get some sleep.
No, I'm going to a party right now.
Oh, you got to go to...
Yeah, seriously. A birthday party and after to pick up.
That's
my business,
That's
baby.
The life of Chris Helmbrecht.
Yeah, it's my business.
Go, go, go.
The vodka will help me.
Gets los.
Conserves me the vodka.
Chris, I think it's time for us to get up and get out.
Take care, man. Thank
you. You too. Bye. I just want to say thank you again to Chris for what was really a very insightful and such an enjoyable conversation. It was so great to have Chris on the show today. You know, on the surface, it seems as if Chris is purely a hedonist and self-absorbed human being, but however true those statements may be, he's really a complex guy, and oftentimes, drawing on his personal metacognitive sessions, he dives deeper into his confrontation of the very events that drive him as a human with desires and needs. I was really drawn into our conversation, actually oftentimes getting energized by Chris's stories and responses. So Chris, I'm sure you're listening. Thank you. Thank you so much again for coming on the show. If you want to find out more about Chris or his projects, you can find him on Facebook at Chris Helmbrecht. That's HELMBRECHT. And you can also visit his website, moscowclubs.com. If you would like to support the show, please head on over to iTunes. Please give us a review. That's how we are able to keep bringing you these episodes. We want to answer the questions that are most relevant to you. We want to bring you people that are meaningful and give you real tips on how to live, how to survive, and not just survive, but how to enjoy your time living abroad. So head on over to iTunes, subscribe to the show, give us a review, and if you like the show, if you like one of the episodes, please share it with your friends, your neighbors, co-workers, anyone that you think would benefit from it. And if you want to check us out, we're also on Instagram. You can just follow me personally. That's Stephen Chrissell, StephenKrisel. And you'll find me there. So, guys, I wish you a wonderful one. Stay safe, stay happy, stay healthy, be awesome, be you. We'll catch you next time.